Mm. I've already told people in various vlogs that are not, you know, paid attention to. You need to pay attention to reality if you want to learn about it. And one of, and not just talk about grand reality, but who I am, what I claim to be as the Doctor of Humanics. This is not a vlog on specifically part of the 10-part series of the Doctor of Humanics, but a lot of people think, maybe even with this Apple series coming out, and maybe people noticing me as I believed was a possibility some years ago, people might start calling me Raven Selden. And no, I'm not just talking about what's coming. I'm talking about wanting to help. And what's weird is that to help successfully is you have to really connect with reality on how bad things are. Now, if somebody succeeds at this, and you can tell I have, or you can tell at least I'm talking about very bad things, whether you believe they're true or not, then how am I this functional still? Well, part of it is that I can't just be the guy of loom and gloom, is I had to also develop the skill sets, the program. I had to create the science, not mathematically like, Newton or Einstein did, but I had to create the science to heal humanity as a species, but not in a possibility that you'd be the same and that you'd get back to your life like normal, but that you'd still have the hardware, and that eventually, if some idealized future after at least 75 years of very hardships, is there's a way that a limited few can cope and self-organize in a collaborative way, and somebody does research about who I was and kind of digs up how to make this happen with as much data as I succeeded in putting on, which is limited because a lot of it is about the programming that successful social creatures with sapience and sentience would have. So again, there's a limit of how much I can make progress to help future generations way after I'm dead if I don't get collaborations now to at least post videos of some of the programs. And by the way, people that have been in videos with me, we weren't working on that. We were just shooting the breeze. We weren't working specifically on what I would have created as a bachelor's in humanics, a master's in ecocentric type worldviews, and the PhD is, I don't even want to talk about it. It's related to socio-cybernetics, and I'd be surprised if the responsibility levels existed for me to responsibly give this and offer it. But what I wanted to say is that I have the tools and I have the programs, and practicing delivering them would make them much, much better, and then documenting them so that in 75 years or so they would be possibly utilized that way after I'm dead. The remote possibility of the hardships I've suffered and the life uncommon and filled with a sense of aloneness that only I could bear, it seems, because everybody else seems to be jumping for the parties of the norm that are quite happy to accept the crash of this latest proto-civilization, even though this one is going to be pretty deadly to the biosphere compared to your other ones. And it's because of how you've irresponsibly used technology and terraformed and moved things around in very unhealthy ways, and making things that are not supposed to be there, and the ones that are supposed to be there are not there, and it's very complex, but it's, your tipping points in that way have really passed. So my point with this video is just to say that you can judge me for the things I say, but the thing is when you don't try to let me help, and you don't swallow your pride, and you don't have the courage to participate on record, in a way that it could be a win-win scenario, because it could be you suddenly become part of the solution, or it could be you're the first person to find some sort of way to discredit me, which would be fine by me, because then I could really say, oh my God, my entire life I've been wrong about everything, and now I'm just going to retire for real and work at McDonald's or something like that, right? But what I would like is to find somebody to collaborate with in a way that I've maximized, not just solo. I mean, there's many ways by myself I can maximize my life as a mortal with limited collaborations to be of the utmost benefit, right? To be somebody who really succeeded as a human being, which has nothing to do with bank account, assets, Nobel Prizes, diplomas, property, followers. It has nothing to do with that. To be a successful human being is first you have to realize your mortality and get to work, is to actually do something that contributes to the system you belong to, which is the biosphere, and not even your own species. Because if you really have human levels sentience and sapience and the various types of well-balanced of intelligence that comes with it, is naturally, to be a successful Homo sapien, you will have benefited the biosphere. So far, I mean, the only person I know of, although I don't know of everybody, that has successfully achieved this at a much younger age than I have, is Greta. So bravo, Greta. I acknowledge that when it comes to evaluating somebody as a human being, if we define the concept of humanity properly based on sentience and sapience, that it is a phenomenon that we're, as a collective, unsuccessful at achieving, and that will continue to get worse until the remote possibility that in the future, some sort of thing that I can't predict yet would happen, where there'd be a restart and the possibility to finally, for the first time, get to a 1.0 operating system that would be, really defined as being human. And again, there's other species right now that have so much more sentience and sapience than us on this planet that we are doing crimes against life, not just humanity, but life. And the concept of humanity is beyond our species. If we define it properly, it's observed in other species on this planet. So, I mean, shame on you, shame on your gods, shame on what you worship or prioritize or value as a collective, as a species that has been so flawed. And again, the more I interact with you as individuals, the deeper you get in your denial. So that means I can't even work with you unless you achieve this one thing at the beginning, which is what I mostly test right now, is I test people with reality. And if I see that they're capable of dealing with reality and they realize how much work they have to do to become human, to save themselves, their kids' generation, the biosphere, not be part of the problem in their limited lifespan, is then I'll know I'll have the first Homo sapien right in front of me and I'll be able to work with them. But I can't help you unless you realize how much work you have to do, and that you may not notice any measurable results around you, maybe in you, and that's what matters to make a change as a species, is that more and more do it in you, and suddenly it's manifested as the majority starts to build. So again, that's the only thing within your power, is for you to realize. So many people follow so many different strangers or people that may or may not be famous in any way. Whether we know what a red flag looks like or not, we kind of need some sort of guidance. Martin is offering it with a transparency that has never been seen. So somebody might say, I'm going for it. And I'm not looking for followers. I'm just looking for somebody to actually allow me to be of service by collaborating with me in a way that hopefully will make progress. Because if this person is genuine and they realize Martin and I will be working on things for the rest of our lives, and very likely not seeing measurable results outside of us, just within us, and within what we do and what we can videotape and demonstrate and prepare for way after we're gone. Now, if that's not a successful life as a human being, I don't know what is.